Don't. Well,
I
I'm not gonna
really
say it.
don't. I really do not like that person at all. Like they have some like go away heat. Like get off of my screen. Be with me.
I don't think that character's that
It's
bad.
personal.
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 Share screen's got it.
From what I know about them. All right, hold on.
That's one.
All right, I'm in. Before we start, I want to double check something with you. How do you want to go about the voices coming up? Have you thought about that?
What do you mean?
Like the characters you've voiced before returning. Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
You
I'll
don't
just keep.
end up doing this later.
Yeah, I just want to keep it continuity for this part at least.
Okay.
Right, everyone's
Enjoy.
watching, and let's go.
All right.
Mell doesn't say a word the whole entire way. His smile has retreated. There's a hint of fear lurking beneath his now stony expression. I spend a trek through the mansion's corridors, pondering how to answer the questions I know are coming. How to solve the problem I put myself in. We enter a bedroom, presumably his, and he closes the door behind us. I can see the distrust in his eyes as he glares at me. I, I have to ask, who exactly are you? Why do you say that back there? That saint's blood is actual blood. In response to his pressing eye,
You choose.
I am thinking. We don't have much time, but it's in our best interest to tread carefully. There's too much we don't know yet. It'd be wise to make a rash decision. With him as tense and suspicious as he is right now, it won't be easy to get his key or persuade him to tell us how he ended up here. Furthermore, my experiences with the three shades tells me that if I'm not careful, I could be putting myself in imaginable danger. A brief flash of what might have happened had I spoken too soon crosses my mind, sending a chill down my spine. If I want to get Mell on my side, I would need something more, something decisive. Something that convinces him he needs to come clean and set Morgana free. Regardless, being cautious isn't going to mean much if I can't get them to let us stay in the mansion. We need to be nearby to keep an eye on things, gather information. How to go about that, though?
Assuming he's not voluntarily involved. Maybe all we have to do is ask for his help in setting Morgana free and he'll work with us?
Perhaps being so direct will only invite more suspicion. But she's probably on the right track. When I met his shadow was burdened with great regret, he begged me to help him. My remark about the saint's blood was based on stories I once heard about a person whose blood is said to have healing properties. Stories? Maybe they haven't made it out this far. I don't know. But I tell of a girl born in a distant village, a saint, and the daughter of God. I thought that perhaps the nun might be the saint spoken of in the stories. I was hoping for the opportunity to see a miracle performed with my own eyes. I have to say, you look more angry than excited. I didn't hide it very well, I guess. Maybe it appeared that way to you, but I never had a very friendly face. If you say so. As long as you're telling the truth. I myself had to wonder. Why did my remarks seem to bother you so much? What? Is there something more to the saint's blood than you're telling me? No. Something that would make you want to get me alone and interrogate me? There's nothing. I just, didn't want to scare anyone with all the talk of blood, since there's not actually any in it. I didn't know about the stories, so... It's just medicine. I swear. As you say. It's got nothing to do with the saint in your stories. To change the subject, could I ask you to convince the nun to allow me to stay here? Huh? Weren't you listening? We can't take anyone in right now. Which is why I'm asking for your recommendation. Live on the premises, don't you? I'm more a supervisor of sorts. And then you should have some say in the matter. Why? Until the Harvest Festival is all I'm asking. I want to get a room at an inn. If you need money, I'll spare some coin. I must stay in this mansion. But why? Those are my instructions. What? You know the stained glass window in the chapel behind the pulpit? I was named after Archangel Michelle depicted there. The angel came to me in a vision, instructed me to watch over the festival here. From where you were standing, you couldn't possibly have seen the window in that much detail. You couldn't... Oh, I get it. You've been to church before, and you're just acting like you haven't. There's a metal door off to the side, leading to the observation tower. Yeah? You can't... You can see the tower from outside. Inside is a long spiral staircase, not made of stone, but wood. There's a single door at the top of the stairs. How... what are you really here for? All that vision stuff is a lie. I'm not here to cause you any trouble. In fact, I am on your side. You show it out of nowhere. Expect me to believe your nonsense? All I ask is for you to allow me to stay until the day of the festival. If you can do that for me, then I'll make you the promise I could not before. I have not forgotten your pleas for salvation. I know you want to be free. Let me guess. You saw that in a vision too? If you want to call it that, then you can. I never once asked you for you to save me. You're mad. But, fine. I've got nothing to hide anyway. If I say you're a friend, the Saints should be willing to accommodate you. Wait, I already told her you were my friend, didn't I? I'll try and persuade her. I don't know what your deal is, but try not to cause any trouble, okay? For your own sake. I won't. Only until the festival. You're not getting another day out of me or her. And this isn't your home, so don't act like it is. Of course. Thank you. You know, I never did get your name. It's Michelle. Ah, right. After Archangel Michelle. Just like you said. I never really cared much for Michelle, to be honest. He weighs his soul in one hand on his perfectly balanced scales, then delivers his punishment with his sword in his other. He's not an angel of salvation. Out of curiosity, could you perhaps be... No, never mind. I turned to a bit of a storage area, but there's an open room you can use. I'll show you the way. I appreciate your courtesy. Well, this is just lovely. There are cracks in the ceilings and the walls peeling off. There is a bed at least, but it's coated in dust. This was a storeroom where I lived here, as I recall. Sorry about the condition. I didn't choose a bedroom for you on purpose, I promise. If you want to sleep somewhere more comfortable, you're not going to find that here. Not a problem. I'm grateful to have a room at all. If you say so. Well, I have work to do, so I should be on my way. I'll talk to the Saintess, as promised. I imagine she'll make supper for you at some point. But do keep your crazy talk to yourself around her. I'll make a note of it. Thank you. See you.
We made it work. Somehow.
Somehow.
It's a lot of pressure being under that much suspicion, huh? My heart was pounding the whole time. And that the Archangel Michelle came to me in a vision stuff? I never expected you to go there. Why'd you tell him that anyway?
Because I didn't think telling him, I know the future needs your help to change it, would have gone over very well. Besides, those who yearn for redemption have a tendency to latch onto the spiritual. I thought taking advantage of that would work to our benefit.
You know, I bet you'd make a pretty good con artist, Michelle.
I did what I thought was necessary.
I know. Besides, you have every intention of keeping your promise, don't you?
Whether or not Mell can be saved is up to him. I will lend him my hand, though.
Oh, you. You say it's all on him, but deep down, you know you're on his side. We're complete strangers to this now. But I can't bring myself to think of him that way. We just met today, but it feels like reuniting with an old friend. He's the same old Mell.
You were actually there, a part of his life, which I imagine makes the sentiment all the stronger.
You don't feel the same way?
I don't think of him as a total stranger, no. However... Nothing. I was about to say something incredibly cynical, but I caught myself.
What?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
If you say so.
I was always the one with nothing to offer. Powerless to be of anyone's help. So if anything's motivating me, it's not concern for the boy. A desire to prove that someone like me can do something.
It didn't take much arm twisting to get him to give us a room, so who knows? Maybe he'll come over to our side easier than either of us expect.
Him giving us the room is not simply out of kindness. Keeping me nearby allows him to keep an eye on me. He doesn't trust me, but doesn't know enough about me to decide what to do yet. He needs time, and doing this gives him that time. If he decides keeping me around is not to his advantage, he will act accordingly.
Do you really think he'll do anything to hurt you? Mel's a kind boy, and, well, to be frank, I don't think he has the spine for it.
It's hard to say, but even if he doesn't, we still have the other two men to worry about. Nevertheless, his cooperation will undoubtedly be the easiest of the three to gain. We are fortunate to run into him first.
What makes you say that?
Did you ever have a chance to see the shadows trapped in the mansion?
Shadows. I might have. But around the time Hayden Rhodes passed away, I wasn't really there anymore. I stopped thinking, stopped trying to make sense of the things inhabiting the house. I had become merely another part of the cursed mansion.
I was only able to converse with them after I had reclaimed myself. I suppose much of the rules differ between the realms of the living and the dead. So too do they differ for those who have lost their grip on reality. As I was searching for a way to get you out of the tower, I encountered and spoke with the three men in the shadows. Of the three, Mell was the least threatening. He bears a great deal of regret. He yearns for someone to save him. I heard him muttering, "This isn't what I wanted." He doesn't want to be involved in this. Someone else is holding the reins. I guess it would be the Lord, but regardless, they're not equals in this endeavor.
If he wants out, then maybe he would have agreed to help if we told him we're here to save Morgana.
Carelessly revealing our hand at stage did not seem wise. But it had never gotten to this point. It were so easy to stop.
So I guess our first task is to earn Mell's trust.
Morgana's death is in 3 days. We have until then to get all 3 keys.
It won't be easy. I mean, we weren't even present in this world until today.
Exactly. We had no one to vouch for us. No one even knows who we are. But we have knowledge. Quite a bit of it, in fact. We not only know what happens in this era, but you showed me their next lives as well. From that, we can deduce how they might behave and to whom they have ties.
You're right, we do. We know things we should have no way of knowing. And we can use that knowledge to our advantage. Their various interpersonal relationships are where we can get our edge, I think. They each have their reasons for locking Morgana up. And if I'm right, they're doing it for other people. It's these powerful bonds driving them. Mell's driving force would be a sister, for instance.
Are they mere bonds, or is it fate that ties them together? You're right. We should find and talk to his sister. Mell is more likely to act as coming from her than us.
I agree. If his darling sister tells him to stop, he won't have any reason to continue his involvement.
Knowing how the first tale ended makes me slightly uncertain. But for now, we can work on an assumption that he does generally care for her.
What do you want to bet she's somewhere nearby? I mean...
She will be. It was her death that sparked the chaos on the day of the Harvest Festival.
Ah, right. It was. No, you're exactly right. But what I was going to say is that people tend to keep those they care most about close by.
It would appear I have a bad tendency to focus too much on the facts. That was entirely unnecessary of me. Giselle did not need to be reminded of that. I'm sorry.
Huh? What for?
For being careless with my words. Inconsiderate.
No need to apologize for the truth. Besides, you and considerate are like oil and water.
And today, you're the fire to my oil.
We have 3 days to stop this tragedy. Let's get to work.
Let's. We'll probably have more luck asking than just searching for her. If we can't find Mell, then none might know.
Off we go.
Ah. As I step into the chapel, I see an old man waving to the nun as he heads for the door. The man is practically beaming, and judging by the vial in his hand, he's happy about more than simply having a chance to see her. Is that Saint's blood? According to Morgana's account, a disease began spreading through the city at the Harvest Festival, eventually eradicating the population. In a time like this, where medical knowledge is so limited, a plague would be almost unstoppable. And to sight so many people dying so quickly could appear to them the work of a demon or a curse.
We come from the future, so we know just how dangerous this is. But they have no idea.
Morgana described it as a tale that could have only taken place in the era of miracles and spirituality. About that, she could be more right.
Could we maybe warn everyone against taking the medicine? I assume the sickness was caused by them ingesting blood, at any rate. It's not medicine they're being given.
But bottled disease, like some sick joke. If we could convince them to stop taking Saint's blood, then maybe that'd prevent the city from being destroyed. But the fact that it's being distributed in the house of the Lord and peddled as a miracle cure plays right into the deep-rooted spirituality. Would it even be possible to convince them otherwise? Besides, it's not them we came here to save, but no, that's veering too far off in our intended path. We need to find the truth and save Morgana's soul. Putting ourselves out like this is only going to get us unwanted attention, make people suspicious. We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. It's just knowing what they're doing to themselves, I couldn't help but think that maybe there was something we could do. Especially considering how it all turns out.
I understand the sentiment, or rather, I understand your reasoning. But for me, Morgana takes priority over any of them. And you, over everything. Releasing Morgana's soul should save yours as well, Giselle. If we can eliminate Dimension's darkness, then you won't have to be trapped as it's made. I had no interest in being a hero of the masses. Let's go ask about Mell's sister then.
Okay.
I turn my gaze back towards the nun to find her kneeling in one of the pews. She bows her head and begins to whisper a prayer. There's no one else in the chapel. Now's the perfect time to ask. Hearing me approach, she falls silent and turns to face me, wearing her usual disarming smile.
Oh, hello, Michelle. Mell was just here. He told me everything. Can't turn away a friend of Mell's. Now can we? Sorry for turning you down earlier.
No worries. I did a poor job of explaining myself.
No. Did you need anything? Need something? Let me guess. Medicine?
No, I'm in perfectly good health.
I figured you were lying.
I can ask her about Saint's blood some other time. While I have a number of questions about the man she's close with too, right now, Mell's sister is priority. Are you familiar with Mell's younger sister? She has flaxen hair, much like him.
Oh, you mean Nellie. Are you her friend too?
I would say we're more...
You're better off just saying you're friends.
friends. Yes.
What about her?
I'd like to speak with her. I was wondering if you might know where I could find her.
Nellie should be down at the college, I believe.
The cottage?
Yep, that's where I stay too. I don't sleep in the mansion itself.
So you don't live here, but only work here?
Right. For one, there are men who live here. The Lord likes to show up on occasion too, and we can't have a nun wandering around while he's here.
So you and Nellie live together then?
Yep, we have for about 6 months or so. Ever since she and Mell showed up. I wanted to let her stay with her brother. But since this is a technically church property, we have to keep the boys and girls separated.
I see.
I'm so glad to hear Nellie's got a friend though.
What?
She's not from around here, so she doesn't have many acquaintances. And with how sick she can get, she doesn't spend much time outside. Which is a shame, because she's such a sweet girl. I'm her friend, of course, but I've got responsibilities. I can only be around so often. So I'm sure she'll be delighted to have someone else to talk to.
It'll be my pleasure. Could you, tell me the way to college then?
Oh, sure. It's not that far from here. You go down.
Directions to God from the nun that lead me to a place I know from my own time. It's the same building where the man had been ordered to keep me under surveillance stayed. Sunlight seeps relentlessly through the trees, and I find myself having to look down my feet as I follow the path. It's blindingly bright, painful.
How are you holding up, Michelle?
I'll be alright. The sun's past its peak, and a few hours won't be nearly as bad.
Don't push yourself, okay?
Okay. The trek is a reminder of just how inconvenient my body always was. And having this chance to experience being alive again comes with both the good parts and the bad. But now it's hardly time to complain about my sensitivity to the sun. It's not long before we reach a clearing, a small cottage surrounded by a small garden coming into view. Encountered by a flower bed picking flowers is the flaxen-haired girl. Are you Nellie? Though several details of her appearance don't match my memory of her, she still has that distinct hair. It could be nobody else. This Nellie is considerably thinner and looks rather frail. The effects of her being ill, I presume.
Who are you?
My name is Michelle. I have a few questions to ask you. Can we talk for a bit? I would have thought she would have said something by now.
You're being way too blunt, Michelle. You've gone and scared her.
What else was I supposed to say?
You have to approach slowly, carefully. Go on, give her a smile. A nice, soft smile.
Smile. I'm only here to talk. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Okay, that is definitely not a nice smile. I can't even see it, and I can still tell.
What do you expect? I can't just smile on demand.
Ah! It's a bad man. A Batman has come to kidnap me. Save me, dearest Mell, before this Batman does bad things to me.
Calm down, please. I'm not gonna do anything to you.
Don't get any closer. I know you're trying to do bad things to me.
I'm not going to do bad things to you. I couldn't even wanted to.
Don't move, or I'll call the guards on you.
Please, calm down. I mean you no harm, honestly.
That's what all bad men say.
No, Giselle, don't just watch. This will be a fantastic time for a little advice.
Got it. Maybe she'll calm down if you mention Mell.
You're a genius.
I know.
I'm a friend of Mell's. He was telling me about you, and how you wanted someone to talk to. He asked me to keep you company.
Mell asked you to come talk to me?
You did. Do you trust me now?
So that makes you his friend then?
As much as it pains me to admit it.
Michelle, what on earth possessed you to say that?
Slip of the tongue.
You and him, Is that so?
Yes?
You're pretty old to be friends with my Mell. And you are you really, really, really his friend?
Really?
Then prove it.
How so?
If you're really his friend, then you should be able to tell me all about him.
Why in God's name would you ever subject me to that?
Do you not like Mell, Michelle?
That's not it. We're just incompatible.
Okay, here we go. First question. What does my Mell like most of all?
That's easy.
You think so too? You think I'm his favorite thing in the whole wide world? I like to believe that's what he thinks. I think it would be wonderful if I could always be his number one.
Her excessive love for her brother is still out in full force, I see.
Second question. What kind of person is my Mell?
Chomp.
So I really say what's on my mind. Come on, Giselle, I need your coaching. He's a nice guy.
That's right. He's a very nice guy. He can have his head in the clouds sometimes, but other than that, he's perfect. You know, your stuff.
To be honest, I was just saying what you wanted to hear. Me and my big mouth.
Okay, final question. Describe what he looks like for me.
You know, I kind of want to say.
Trust
I
the
try not to
salesman
scrutinize.
here.
I try not to scrutinize other men.
No. Is that a guy thing?
Generally,
So, you'll scrutinize girls then? Do you want to stare at me?
I suppose I might.
Stop right there. What is wrong with you?
Feel jealous.
I'll never look at you the same way again.
It was a joke. I didn't actually mean it.
You're full of surprises today, aren't you, Michelle?
It's not that unusual, is it? If there's a woman in the room, I'm certainly not going to ignore her.
I'm right here, you know. Or are you trying to upset me?
She's kind of cute when she's mad.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
Sorry, my mind ran off without me.
You're weird. Well, that's the last of my questions. You're not a complete stranger, it seems. Sure, why not? You can be my Mell's friend.
Well, thank you.
This is great. I was sure you were a bad man.
Why is it that the first impression that everyone has of me is that never that I'm someone decent?
Any friend of Mell's must be a good person. No, an amazing person.
That's quite the faith you have in him.
Why wouldn't I? He's my big brother.
There's some circular logic.
Is it just you? Is Mell not coming?
He's rather busy at the moment.
Oh. He always has something to take care of, that Mell. Hardly given me any attention these past couple months. But that's okay, because today I got you to keep me company.
Yes, you do. I can't stay long, though.
Alright, just stay until sundown then. You had something you wanted to ask me, didn't you? Well, if you're a good enough friend, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
And how do I go about that?
Talking. Lots and lots of talking. You have to keep me entertained.
You're asking far too much of me.
She's not asking much at all. She just wants to talk.
Till sundown? Do you think someone who spent 13 years in isolation knows the first thing about holding a pleasant conversation?
Hey now, I was there for a year of that. I'll help you come up with topics, so go on.
Do you not want to talk to me?
No, I do. I'm just not much of a conversationalist.
Okay. Then instead of talking, you could sing. I've never seen a men's string before, but I've always wanted to know what kinds of songs they sing. Will you show me?
Never seen one myself either. I've heard second-hand accounts of the songs of traveling jongleurs. Very well then. I'll teach you the song of an old acquaintance of mine heard while traveling.
I can't wait.
Here goes. The silence is deafening.
I'm shocked. I don't think I've ever heard someone sing so badly.
Me neither. I'm flabbergasted.
Let's hear you try then.
That's enough singing for today. I don't want my ears to fall off.
What a vicious little girl.
I know. Let's bake something.
Bake? Something?
Yep. Come on inside. I made some nice jam earlier today. I want to make it into a pretty little pie. You get to help me with that.
I'm not much of a...
Come on, get a move on. You either help, or you don't get to be my friend.
As you wish.
This is not going to end well.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. How on earth do you manage to turn a pie into this monstrosity?
I give it my best shot.
There's only one explanation. You're possessed.
It's true, he is. But I'm a perfectly good chef.
You're right.
Michelle's just naturally terrible at it.
God, could this go any worse?
I can't give this a Mell. Jerk, dimwit, loser.
I'm sorry.
Well, I guess we have no choice but to eat it ourselves. I'll set the table.
What?
And I'll make us some tea while I'm at it. You know, I've always dreamed of this. Sitting around a table with a friend, having snacks, and just talking.
Oh?
Yep. And for that, I can deal with a little awful, disgusting pie. It's just too bad I couldn't share it with my Mell too.
I see.
For all her complaining, she seems to be enjoying herself. I can only imagine how lonely she is out here. While she may act all bright and cheerful, beneath it is a real sense of isolation.
And the same can be said about the girl behind the first door. As vivacious and pushy as she could be, you could see hints of loneliness behind it all.
Her brother was practically all she had while she lived in the mansion. But if I were to guess, that's not the life she really wanted. I bet she would have preferred to be able to go out and play with friends.
Being born to a noble family takes away a lot of your freedom.
Even in such drastically different time periods, she's still the same girl inside. Actually, maybe the parallels extend beyond her as a person and into the courses of her two different lives.
Perhaps that means all those who were reconstructed at Morgana's wish are destined to live similar lives. Though destiny might be putting it too nicely. Nellie?
Hmm?
I'll be glad to lend you my ear, or you like. We can talk about the weather, or your brother, anything you want.
You will? Great! Take a seat. I got lots I want to talk about. More than you can possibly imagine. And you'll never guess what Mell said next. That I mean more to him than anyone else in the world. So I'm growing flowers out in the garden, right? Well, when I've got enough of them, I'm going to make a big banquet and give it to Mell. Back at home, we got this really big yard with this huge tree we used to take naps under when it was nice out. So, what do you think about the tea I made? The flower petals. What really ties it all together? Oh, and you wouldn't believe what happened after that. Care for another cup of tea? I'll make as much as you can drink.
No, thank you. I'm fine. I feel like all there was not and listen. And the bulk of it is about Mell, no less.
I haven't talked that much in ages. Time sure flew by, huh? The sun's starting to set.
Do you and the nun not speak much?
We do, but it's kind of... I don't know. Not really the same with her. I just feel, I guess, like she's too important for me to waste her time. Being a lady in charge of the church, and pretty much the whole estate.
And what about Mell? Does he not visit you very often?
No, he does. He comes to see me a lot.
Then why...
He hasn't been himself lately. My old Mell would always happily listen to whatever I had to say, but now he seems kind of distracted. It sounds like he's really busy. When he visits, he doesn't stay for long, and he has to go back to the mansion at night. I'll try to get him to stay longer, but it never works. And he always avoids the question when I ask him why he can't. It feels like he's hiding something.
Knowing what he's hiding, I can understand why he wouldn't want to talk about it. Could never tell his precious little sister that he and 2 other men have locked a girl up in a tower, and that he's stealing her blood for her sake.
I wish things could have stayed the way they were before.
The way they were before?
When it was just the 2 of us living together. I know we're more stable here, and I can get the medicine I need from the church. But I'd rather stay being sick than be so alone.
You say you came here around 6 months ago?
Yep, it was just the 2 of us before that. Well, before that, at our old house, we had a bunch of servants. But I never really liked it there either. With that many people around, I felt more alone. I like it so much better when it's just me and Mell.
Is that really what you want? To be in sick? In constant pain?
It's better than being alone. Mell just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that the loneliness is so much worse. Or maybe that's just a guy thing? They don't get what it's like to be ignored. What it feels like to be left in the dark, not knowing anything.
We don't understand, no. We think saving their lives matters above all.
Huh?
Even there's a cost to saving that life. We're incapable of gauging how great it is. We're unable to see how egotistical, how self-serving our actions are.
Are you talking about yourself?
And the same could be said of Mell as well, I imagine.
Mel's still around though. He's there, but it's like he's trying to avoid me. All I want is for him to be here, to be with me. That's all I really want. He doesn't even have to be a perfect fairy tale prince.
Had you ever told him that?
What?
Had you ever told him that he doesn't have to be the perfect brother? That you'd be happy with just having him there? Had you ever put those feelings into words?
I'm always telling him I want him around.
That he doesn't have to be your prince to do so?
He's already said he will be my prince. And he's always smiling whenever I talk about it. So how am I supposed to turn around and say he doesn't have to be my prince anymore?
I know it's not your intention to force an ideal image onto him, but unconsciously, subconsciously, that's what you're doing when you talk like that. And Mell, he's trying to meet those expectations. Actually, he may not be conscious of it himself. He just believes deep down that that's the kind of person he's supposed to be. More accurately, he seems to have a need to make himself look good to others. He believes that if he's good to others, they'll be good on him in return.
Am I a burden?
I can assure you he's better off with you around.
But I am a burden to him right now, aren't I? Be honest with me.
Yes, you are.
Does Mell not like me anymore? Is that why he's been avoiding me?
I promise you, that's not the case. At the very least, he's doing what he's doing now because of how much he cares about you.
You promise?
I promise.
I love him. I love my Mell so very much. Too much, in fact. To be honest, I know I do. Understand that really. I know I'm making his life difficult. But Mell is all I have. He's the only one I can latch onto. I can't control my feelings.
It can be difficult to tame your emotions at your age. There's nothing wrong with that. However, you should have taken stock of those emotions, sorted through everything you got in your mind, and then sat down with them to talk it out. You know, those things that feel feels seem wrong or unspeakable. You should have opened up to him. Taken time to figure out what works best for the both of you. You too needed to face the facts, face the things you carried in your heart, the things your brother carried in his. But not doing so, you never quite on the same page. Small misunderstandings piling up until it all comes crashing down. If they had just talked it out, communicated their feelings to one another, maybe the tragedy could have been avoided, even with Morgana's curse in play. And Nellie only had a chance to come to grips with her feelings for Mell, then maybe things would have escalated the way they did. Her actions that night were arguably hysteric, but she wasn't always like that. I'm sorry. That was out of line. None of this is any of my business, I know.
No need to apologize. You're a very curious man, you know that?
Huh?
We only met a couple of hours ago, but you talk like you've known my whole life. It's like you hear everything I'm thinking, see everything in my heart. Did Mell tell you any of that?
No, he did not tell me much.
I didn't think so. He doesn't know me that well. It's not too late, is it? If I talk to him, really tell him how I feel, do you think Mell will listen?
I know he will.
It won't make things worse? It won't make him uncomfortable?
There's a chance that rifts may form at first, but those cracks can be filled again. I promise you, the result will be something much better than if you had held it in. It will all work out.
Okay. Next time I see Mell, I'll tell him. I tell him he doesn't have to try to be my prince.
Good.
You really are a curious man. You're the first person to ever talk to me like I'm a real person. Everyone loves to see how sweet and adorable I am, but that's it. I was only ever their make-believe princess.
You are a real person, I assure you.
Thanks. You know, after talking to you, I feel a whole lot better. Like I can do anything. I'm glad you came by today.
I'm glad I could meet you in person.
It's weird. It actually feels like we've known each other our entire lives.
I've known you for some time. Precious to say what you will become.
Huh?
Oh, no. Ignore me.
Were you? Was that supposed to be a pickup line? Bad, Michelle. I'm still too young for that.
No, I wasn't.
And now you're getting all flustered.
I swear, that's not what it was.
I know. Jeez, do you really think I trust you that little?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, I just had the most wonderful idea.
Oh?
Yep. Instead of being my friend, I'll let you be something even better.
Huh?
You're my second brother.
Second brother?
A brother is much, much more special to me than a friend. Though, obviously, you can't be my number one.
I'm blanking.
She's taken a liking to you. This is good for us.
I'm not sure how I feel about putting so much trust in me so quickly, though.
The amount of time it takes isn't important. What matters is that you listen to her, you understand her, and you treated her like a real person. In her eyes, you're someone she can depend on.
Do you not want me as your sister?
Actually, I was the youngest child, so having a younger sibling would be,
Would be what? Come on, spit it out.
would be rather nice.
Mm-hmm. You bet I would. Who wouldn't want an adorable little sister like me?
That's a bit narcissistic, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's true, isn't it? Go on, tell me I'm adorable, dearest Michelle. What? Well, don't just stare at me. If my Mel were here, you wouldn't bat an eye.
Please don't compare me to him. You know, now would be a good time to tell her about Morgana. Part of me feels like it would be taking advantage of her newly earned trust, but it'll certainly be easier to bring her up now, while she holds me in such high regard. She's much more likely to believe me.
You're right. I agree. Now's probably the best chance we'll get. Especially considering how little time we have.
I can't shake the feeling I'm rushing things, but at this point, all I can do is go away with it and pray that it works out.
If we had the time, I think we'd all like to hold off. Nellie looks like she's having so much fun. And even you seem to be enjoying yourself.
No, I'm just...
Nothing to be ashamed of. I'm having fun watching you myself. Let's do it. Let's tell her about Morgana. We have to do it at some point anyway.
Yes, let's. Nellie, do you mind if I ask you a question?
What is it, dearest Michelle? Ask me anything you want.
Had you heard of something called Saint's Blood?
You mean the medicine?
Yes, except it's not actually...
I know, yeah. It's actually the Satan's blood, not medicine. But no telling.
You... what?
One day, before we moved here, when it was just me and Mel, the Satans came to visit. My mind had been all foggy for a long time. Like I was not quite asleep, but not quite awake either. But when I heard her soft, pleasant voice, the fog cleared up a bit. And then she performed a miracle for me. Blood is awful and gross and terrible, but the saintess, hers is different. Hers is pure.
So you're saying you know everything, Nellie? About the observation
About
tower
the...
and...
Huh? The tower? What about it?
That's where they keep her.
What? No, the Satan's is always in the chapel. And she stays here with me. She comes back at nights. In fact, she should be here any minute now.
So she thinks the Saintess.
It's the nun, and not Morgana. No, Nellie, that blood comes from...
I'm really, really grateful for her. She didn't just perform one miracle, she's been taking care of me while I'm here too. So whenever I see her, I always say thank you. I thank her for sharing her blood with me. And she always says it's nothing with a big smile.
Nellie, no. The nun has no idea. She just assumes Nellie thanking her for giving her the medicine.
I owe the Saints my life.
No, Nellie. She's not the one you should be grateful to.
Huh?
The girl you owe your life to has been locked up, suffering and alone even as we speak.
But the Satanist is at the church.
The girl who came to visit you is not the nun everyone calls the Satanist. Her name is Morgana.
What are you talking about, Michelle? The Satanist is locked up? Stop that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Please believe me. While you were lying in bed, sick and barely conscious, did you get a good look at the Saintess who gave you her blood? You didn't, did you? You couldn't make out any details because your mind was a haze. And then when you arrived at this estate, you met a woman who people called the Saintess, giving out medication known as Saint's blood. So you assumed she was the one who had cured you. That's the story you chose to believe.
If what you're saying is true, then where is the other Satanist, the one who came to see me?
At the top of the mansion's observation tower. The door to the tower is locked. She's imprisoned there.
And how do you know this?
Because it would be wise to tell her I'm from the future just yet. That would only serve to confuse her even further. All I need to convince her right now is that Morgana is being held in that tower. This is an idea. Perhaps I can borrow from the story the white-haired girl told Mell. I received a letter.
A letter?
There's a single window far out of reach, in a chamber at the top of the tower. A dove flew in through the window, so she wrote a letter, tying it to the bird's leg, releasing it in the hopes someone would come to set her free. That letter ended up in my hands.
If that's the case, then who locked her up? Was it the Satanist, the one I know?
No, I don't believe the nun is aware. I think she's simply doing her job in good faith.
Then who...
Michelle.
I know very well that what I'm about to say will likely crush her. I can't let that stop me.
Who would do such a terrible thing?
Nellie, I want you to brace yourself for what I'm about to say. There are 3 men participating in Morgana's imprisonment. One of those 3 is your brother, Mell. I understand that's the last thing you wanted to hear, but please believe me. Do not say something so upsetting lightly. I wish to save Morgana, the true saint. I'd like your assistance. Without your help, I can't get out of that tower. I need you to get through to Mell. Otherwise, both he and Morgana will remain entrapped.
That's not true.
Nelly,
You're lying. You have to be. My Mell would never do something so horrible. You're a terrible liar.
it's true. I swear to you.
You think I'm going to believe that? My Mell. My Mell is an amazing, wonderful person. He's not cruel and evil. He's kind. He's good and kind, like a prince. And a prince should never lock someone up.
I know you're not blind, Nelly. You can see that all your prince talk has been putting pressure on him.
So? You think that's going to change my mind? He has no reason to do any of that.
But he does, Nelly. He's certainly not happy about it, no, but he's doing it for you.
What do you mean?
He needs her blood to keep you healthy. So, to ensure he always had a supply.
But no,
Despite that, Saint's blood probably doesn't even have healing properties. No one benefits from doing this. Not you, not Mell, and certainly not Morgana. I don't think anyone can stop him except you.
Mell won't listen to me.
Did you not just say you would talk things through with him?
Just shut up. Stop talking already. I'm done listening to you.
Nelly,
I'll never believe you. You're not my brother anymore. You're just a horrible, horrible man. What do you think you are to march in here and try to make my Mell into the bad guy? And after I made you my second brother. What's wrong with you? I trusted you. I ate nasty pie and had tea with you. But you're just a mean, evil man here to turn me against my Mell.
I know you don't want to believe me, but I'm telling you the truth, every word. I beg you to open your eyes. Ask him yourself. You don't believe me, then ask Mell about Morgana. And guarantee you, you'll panic.
Enough? Enough already. Get out of here. Get out this instant.
Nelly,
Don't say my name. Just go away. Get out of here. Now, I don't want to see you ever again. I should have chased you out the moment I saw you. Get out now.
I pray, confining yourself to open your eyes and face the truth.
Get out.
One last thing before I go, Nelly. It was my only option. I know that. I feel like all I accomplished by telling her was bringing her more pain. That's a difficult balance.
We just have to pray that you were able to get through to her. I'm sure she'll come around.
If only we had a little bit more time. In 3 days, it will all be over. Morgana, the entire web of people connected to her will die. That's not enough time. Let's return to the mansion and look for Mell. I want to speak with him. There's a chance to get even the smallest bit of Nelly's feelings through to him. Maybe you have a change of heart.
Hopefully.
It's hardly going to be elegant, but it's what must be done. Ah, did you just get back? The Saintess was telling me you went to see Nellie. What do you think? Sweet girl, isn't she? That she is. Though she can be a bit of a handful at times. I'm glad I could keep her company for a bit. Now, just to be sure, you kept a lid on all your crazy talk, right? She treated me to some tea, nothing more. Ah, the stuff with the flower petals in it, yeah? She thinks some kind of charm to make it taste better. Girls seem to have a thing for stuff like that. Mell, could you spare a bit of time for me? We need to talk. Oh, sure. Can it wait a bit, though? I have to run a little errand after supper. When I'm done with that, I'll meet you in your room. Alright.
You think the errand is...
Bringing Morgana her meal, presumably. You might be able to catch the three of them opening the door of every trail of mail.
It's too big a risk. Mell's already wary enough as it is.
I concur. I don't know how the other two might react either. It's best to play it safe. No one's going to come to our defense if we're caught. Not at this point in time. So we'd be better off waiting in our room.
Agreed.
The winter has receded and spring is well upon the land. There's still a sharp chill to the night air. Even with the windows shut, the wind still manages to slip through the cracks, making the candle flame waver. Neither Giselle nor I say much of anything, but nevertheless, when she does speak, the sound of voice, soft and pleasant, relaxes my nerves. The faint sound of breathing reminds me I'm not alone, that she's there, always watching over me. When the candle's about half gone, the door swings open. Sorry it took so long. What did you want to talk about? You didn't bring anyone with you? No, I didn't. What did you think I would bring? No one, I was just checking. Now, I'll get straight to the point. You're afflicted with a great deal of remorse, are you not, Mell? Pardon? I know what you're doing, what you're involved in. I know the girl at the top of the observation tower very well. Her name is Morgana, and you have her imprisoned in the tower. The door requires 3 keys to open, of which you possess 1. You need her for a miracle blood. How? I came here to stop you. How do you know any of that? It's not possible. She could have told anyone. Did one of them tell you? No, it wasn't them. I was told all this by Morgana herself. How could she? What I'm about to tell you is about to seem impossible, but every word of it is the truth. I am not from this time. Many, many years after her death, Morgana's soul told me what happened to her. What? What are you even talking about? She's still alive. You're not from this time. What? Are you mad? Can you come up with any other explanation for how I would know everything I know? There's a single window in the room at the top of the tower. A small, insignificant thing that sits high upon the wall, entirely useless for communicating with the outside world. In 3 days' time, during the Harvest Festival, Morgana will die. And I must prevent that from happening. Prevent it? To do that, I need your key. Will you give it to me? There you go, talking nonsense again. You know, I warned you not to kick up any dust, for your own sake. I guess that didn't get through, huh? I don't care who you are or where you came from. All that matters is that you intend to stand in our way. What? Did you think I was just a helpless little boy? That you could take my key without any trouble? Well, you'd be right about that. It was only me stealing my key, and setting her free would be a trivial matter. But it's not only me. The other two, they won't hesitate to kill you. Your life, anyone's life, means nothing to them. You don't know what they're like, how terrifying they can be. They're killers. I'll tell them everything you told me. I'll tell them you know our secret. And don't come crying to me when they come for you. I warned you. Is that what you want? Eh. Will you find the comfort you seek by being their devoted little slave and keeping Morgana imprisoned in that tower? What else can I... If you feel at all ashamed about your part in this, you want to do something to correct it, then you need to take that step. You can't fix this problem on your own, no. But I am here to help. I'm not ashamed about anything. Don't lie to yourself. Don't act like you know how I feel. What the hell is your deal anyway? You show up out of nowhere spouting all this, I'll save you and I'm here to help you rubbish. Need to do this. For your sister. See? Now that's ridiculous. If I wash my hands of this, I won't have access to that witch's blood anymore. And without that, Nellie can't get better. She'll die without that blood. Her blood has no miraculous healing powers. You only believe it does, make it appear to work. You're mad. Morgana's blood is not curing Nellie. In fact, may very well be killing her. You keep giving her that blood. Nellie will also lose her life during the Harvest Festival. What? You're standing on the precipice of a horrific tragedy. You're going to take everyone down with you. You don't turn back now. What are you... All three of you are going to lose everything on the day of the festival. And there's only one way to prevent that. You have to set Morgana free. You're insane. You think I would believe that? Nellie's gonna die? You should have told a more mean-spirited lie. You're the one who's trying to kill her. I'm just trying to save her. And you're going about it the entirely wrong way. Do you have any idea how lonely your sister is right now? You shouldn't be at her side. That's what you should be doing instead of stealing a poor girl's blood. I heard enough. What do you know? If I lose Nellie, I have no one else. The whole world would collapse. This was the only way I could keep that from happening. This was my best option, my only option. So no, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep Morgana locked up. I'm gonna keep stealing her blood. And I'll hand you over to the other two. I'll have them kill you. You regret ever showing your face.
Mell, is that really true?
What?
Do you really have the Saintess locked up?
Why? What are you doing here, Nellie?
That man told me I had to talk to you. And he said if I didn't have the courage to do it myself, to wait outside his door tonight, because he was going to get the truth from you.
You conniving son of a... You were planning this all along. Why would you tell Nellie... Why'd you bring her, of all people, into this?
Mell, Tell me, Mell, is it true?
Nellie,
Are you really keeping the Satan's prisoner and stealing her blood? And you said you would have to kill him? Have him killed? I never thought you would be such a terrible person, Mell. I can't believe you would say such despicable things. No, you're not my brother anymore.
Nellie!
Michelle, go after her.
We have to stop her. Bring her back. Nellie!
Don't follow me, just go away. Leave me alone.
Stop! If you run away from him now, Mel will never come back from this.
Then, why did you tell me? Why did you tell me what he was doing? If he hadn't said anything, everything would be fine. We wouldn't be in this horrible mess. If he hadn't said anything, I could keep on believing in him.
No, things wouldn't be fine. Why can you not see that? You shouldn't put your faith in your ideal brother, but your real one, the boy in that room stricken with regret. If I hadn't said anything, the facade would have ruined you, both sooner or later. No, in truth, your relationship was already broken. You were simply ignoring the spreading cracks. I know on some level you had realized that Mel is keeping something incredibly important from you. And that secret is tearing you apart.
There's nothing good about this though. Now we'll never go back to the way we were. We can never go back to what it was like when we were kids, just the two of us playing together every day, having fun.
Everyone's childhood comes to an end. The flow of time is impartial. You cannot fight it. What you can do, what only you can do, is choose how you change.
But...
I will admit, I'm the one who opened your wounds, and now I'm putting the responsibility of tending to them onto you. It's cruel, I know. But if you don't come to terms with Mel and make him withdraw his participation, even greater suffering awaits you far in the future. It's not over yet. You cannot let this be where it ends. The bonds you formed over the years are not yet broken. And you can do what I was never able to. You can still repair your relationship.
But I'm scared. Scared that my brother, that my Mel, could do such terrible things. That he could say he would kill you. He used to be such a good brother. He was always so kind, so friendly to everyone. But it was all a lie. It was a big act to fool me.
No, it was not an act. There was truth to it. He is a kind-hearted boy, an ordinary young man, whose kindness was twisted by circumstance. And it doesn't matter how good a person someone is. Everyone has the potential to do terrible things when backed into a corner.
You think you know everything?
I know. That much. Nellie, You want your brother back. You have to act now. Please. You must take action.
But I'm scared. What am I supposed to say to him? I don't know.
I'll be there with you. You don't have to face this alone. There's more to the story than we heard. We don't know how he got himself involved in this, and I mean to get the rest of it out of him. You need to be there to hear it.
When I hear what he has to say, I try to say something I shouldn't? If I try to say something that would ruin everything, you'll stop me? You're the one who told me to open my eyes and face him. You're the one who made this whole mess. What am I supposed to do if all of this destroys everything I have? You said you'll be my brother, right? So be a good brother and help me out there. Promise me you'll make sure nothing goes bad? You do that, won't you?
Michelle, just say yes. We won't let this go bad. Have faith in yourself. Faith that you put their relationship on track to recovery. Promise her. Give her the courage she wants from you.
You have nothing to fear. I'll be there for you. I helped you both.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll go back.
Thank you, Giselle.
Oh, don't mention it. Now, let's go see what he has to say for himself. Let's draw back that curtain.
Yes, let's. Nellie.
Mell?
What did you come back for? To ridicule me? I'm not the brother you thought I was, huh? Not at all what you wanted me to be. It's all over. Everything Michelle said is true. There was a girl imprisoned in the tower. A completely innocent girl. The girl who saved your life, in fact. Go on. Tell me how cruel and terrible and evil I am. I'm no prince. Here's an idea. Why don't you make him your new prince? You can do it, Nellie. Ask him.
You have your reasons, don't you? You have some reason for being a part of this, right?
A reason? Yeah, I have a reason, alright. I wanted to save your life. I need her blood to cure you, so I had her locked up.
Tell me the truth. I don't remember much about when the Sataness came to visit, but I do remember a little. I remember her saying she would gladly give whatever she could to the sick and needy. Which means you had no need to lock her up.
What Sina Morgana showed me was true. She really was a saint.
Yes, she was.
Tell me the truth, Mell. Tell me everything.
There's nothing to tell.
There is. I know it. There's more to the story than just the facts. The things you thought, the things you felt, are all pieces that combine to make the whole story. Isn't that right, Michelle?
You're exactly right. If you hadn't said anything, we could have gone on with our lives as normal.
No, Mel, we couldn't have. I thought so too at first, but it's not true. Our normal lives ended long ago. Tell me the truth, Mel. No matter what it is, I can handle it.
No, Nellie, you can't. A girl like you, who dreams of becoming a princess, couldn't possibly bear to see how hideous her brother has become.
How can I know if you don't say anything, though? That's how it's always been with us. You were nice to me, and that's all I needed. I never looked beyond the surface. I made you into my ideal brother, and I latched onto that image of you. You're a kind person, Mel. You really are. So kind, you played along with my fantasy. That you were a prince. That you don't have to act for me anymore. I want to know the real you. I'm all done being a princess. I'm just your little sister now, nothing more. Your one and only little sister, Mel.
You need to do this, Mel. You need to tell your story. Until you do, you have no way of understanding what you've been through, what you're going through. No way. If I tell you, you lose any hope you had left in me. As Nellie has, you need to release yourself from your own idealized fantasy, Mel. You have someone right here who will accept you for who you are. I know good and well just how hard it can be to have someone dear to you see the side of you that you didn't want to show them. I think you want to get it off your chest, though. And I think you want forgiveness. Fantasies are not everlasting. They'll crumble eventually. Show us the real Mel. Tell us your story, without embellishments or omissions.
Mel.
Okay. I'll tell you. Not like I have any other options. Nellie, if at any point you can't bear to hear anymore, so be it. You're free to leave whenever you want.
I won't go anywhere. I can almost guarantee you.
I pray that ends up being true. Alright, here goes. The whole story, from start to finish, of how I ended up in this mess. Until around the time I turned 17, my life was mostly uneventful. On days when it was nice out, I'd take walks around the house's grounds, sometimes napping beneath a tree. It was picturesque. And you were always there with me. The same flax-colored hair as me, you always seemed to glisten in the sun, whereas mine is flat and dull. You shone like a tiny little dancing sun. At the time, I assumed that was how life would always be. I generally wanted it to be. Following my 17th birthday, though, I was met with a deluge of changes. First, Father fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. With his death came the question of he would be the next head. As the oldest son, normally would follow me to take his place. I was 17, by all means enough an adult to handle things myself. Or, well, that's what I thought anyway. Nobody else did, though. After discussions I had no part in, decided that my uncle would be the next head. That they weren't confident I had the spine to do the job properly. I wasn't sure what to think. Part of me wanted to know why nobody bothered talking to me, and part of me was relieved. Somewhere inside, I knew I didn't have what it took, so I was more than happy to let someone else take that responsibility. If I could go on with my quiet life, I didn't care who they picked. My uncle, though, seemed to caught on to my apathy, which he did not take kindly to. In response, he formally disowned me. You're not the only one who still has some growing up to do, Nellie. I wasn't quite the adult I thought I was either. Fortunately, you want to call it fortune, I was given enough money to live on a decent length of time, so I had a place to stay. It was a small house far from home. His way of making it hard for me to come back. Not that I had any intention of returning. But the best thing to come out of it all was you coming with me, Nellie.
So this is our new home, Dearest Mell?
Yep, so it is. It's amazing how little there is. No big yard, no paintings, no vases filled with colorful flowers, no silver bowls full of fresh-picked fruit.
But there is. You and me?
You're not going to go and say you want to return home in a couple of new months when you realize life is as luxurious here as it was back there, are you?
There's only one thing in this whole wide world I really need.
Oh,
Honestly, I can live without shiny shoes and pretty dresses like Mother wears. I don't need composers to come and write me songs for my birthday. As long as I have the one thing that matters most to me, I can do without anything else.
are you saying...
I'm as happy as I ever been. I don't need all that fancy, expensive stuff. We may not have a huge yard, but the sun shines everywhere. Flowers can grow even without a gardener tending to them.
Nellie,
I'll do whatever I can for you, dearest Mell. Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
yeah, a bit.
Alright, I'll make something then. Start off with some fruit jam, then maybe make a pie out of it. What else sounds good? I'm craving cookies.
You got quite a sweet tooth. You're gonna make yourself sick like that.
That's the first smile I've seen since we got here.
What? That can't be right. I'm sure I've been smiling.
Nope, you've been frowny all day.
Whatever you say.
Forget about all that stuff at home. We've got each other. We can do this. Who cares about how that we're not rich anymore? We'll figure things out in no time. And then we'll have even more fun than we did back there.
Yeah, you're right.
It'll all work out, dearest Mell. I'll always be here for you. You've got yourself an adorable little princess. What more could you possibly need? Cheer up.
Thanks. I'm really glad you decided to come with me.
Oh, did you think for a second I wouldn't? I'm your princess, dearest Mell. And princesses belong with their princes.
I suppose so. Until that day, I'd never known how good it felt to have someone who wanted me in their life. Who saw me for me. I realized for the first time how blessed I had always been. I was hardly prince material. I wasn't strong or handsome or regal enough for that. But Nellie calling me her prince gave me the illusion of being worth something. Made me feel like I could keep on being that richly blessed young man, even this far away from home. While I had been given some money, my supply was far from infinite. I knew I would eventually have to find some kind of work, some way to support myself and Nellie. But to be quite honest, I couldn't gather motivation to do much of anything. My whole life had changed so abruptly, so dramatically, that my mind just wasn't able to keep up. It knocked me on my backside. I didn't have the strength to get back up. I couldn't tell Nellie that, of course, so this is what I said instead. I'm staying home because I want to be with you as much as possible. She happily took me at my word. Our new life together was quiet and unremarkable. Even so, it was still a constant stream of new experiences for the two of us, having been pampered our entire lives.
Welcome home, dearest Mell. What did you buy today?
I got a chicken.
Wow, I've never seen one up so close. Are we going to keep it as a pet?
I was planning on using it for supper.
What? You're going to cook it?
And that's the idea. You like chicken though, don't you? Steamed, especially, if I remember right.
Yes, but... But it's all covered in feathers and flopping about. How are you supposed to cook it?
If I remember, the guy said to pluck his feathers, then cut off his head and drain out the blood.
Ew. No way. Absolutely not. Not in a million years. You do it, Mell.
What? I've never done this before.
Well, I'm not. So you do it.
Alright. I'll bring it to the...
Not inside. Do it outside.
Okay. I never had a slaughtered chicken before. The chefs back home always took care of it. God, I hope I don't screw this up. Well, I'm not going to accomplish anything. I'll just sit here worrying. Just gotta give it my best shot. Oh, please don't put up a fight. I can't watch. On the count of 3, okay? The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Ah! Wait! Come back! It's gone. At first I was just fumbling about in the dark, constantly messing up everything I tried. But in time, I started getting more comfortable with things and stopped pitting for my old life. For the longest time, I couldn't shake the memory of the fact that I had once been a noble. I was constantly wondering how I ended up there, why this was happening to me. Nellie had seemed to adjust it fairly quickly, but I wasn't faring so well. I was surprised, honestly. I figured if anyone was going to have an issue with our new lifestyle, it was going to be her, not me. Back home, Nellie had tended to be, well, a bit of a princess. She was frequently harsh with the Abigails, scolding them for the smallest of things. There were times I thought she might be biting her tongue for my aunt's sake, but every time it crossed my mind, she would say, I got you, dearest Mell. Everything's just fine. It was those words that kept me going.
Oh, dearest Mell, I just had a most wonderful idea. Would you like to hear it?
Sure, what's your idea?
We should get married.
What? You can't be serious.
As serious gets. I mean, we're basically married already and everything and by name. But name.
We can't do that with siblings.
Nobody here needs to know that.
They can guess from our hair and eye color, though.
I don't think we look that much alike.
Anyway, whatever gave you that idea?
If we get married, we can be together forever.
We can do that just as well as brother and sister.
It's not the same, though. No one ever says two siblings live happily ever after. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, dearest Mell. And the best way to do that is to get married.
But Nellie,
What are you so hesitant for? Is there someone you pinned for?
no, but
Then there's no problem.
her blood-related siblings. Though she realized that getting married means eventually having children and everything that leads up to that goes against the teachings of the Lord. No, she's still just a kid chasing after a fairy tale ending. She doesn't understand the reality of what she's saying. Sometimes, I'm not sure what to do with you, Nellie.
So you'll marry me?
But right now I know you need God's word. Starting tonight, you're getting your own private servant every night. Understand?
Eh.
My instruction was as much for Mel's sake as it was for Nellie's. I'm not going to lie. The thought did cross my mind that her proposition might not be so bad. For one, I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else. And it had been her smile that kept me going when things got difficult. But I knew that it was a sin. I didn't think I would be able to live with myself if I crossed that line. So night after night, I taught her, reminded her that we were brother and sister, and that we didn't have to be anything more for her to be the most important person in the world to me. And after about our third month away from home, the light began crumbling. Nellie woke up one day with a high fever that refused to break. At first, I thought it was just a cold, and I should be over it soon enough. But as much as I tried to convince myself, oh, she'd be better tomorrow, she just kept on getting worse until eventually she couldn't even get out of bed. She had visibly lost weight. I'd never heard her voice so weak and lethargic before. Is there anything you'd like to get me to get you, Nellie?
All I want is you to be here with me, dearest Mell.
You really should eat something. I'll make something you like. How about a nice, expensive chicken? The last one got away, but I won't let that happen this time.
I'm not really in the mood for anything too heavy.
Oh, okay.
Don't you worry, Mell. I'll be better before you know it.
Yeah, you will. You'll be just fine. Everything's going to be back to normal soon.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Nellie grow weaker every day scared the hell out of me. I desperately did not want to lose her. If I lost her, then we'd be left that wanted me, who would tell me I was worth something, who would say nice things about me, who would be there with me every day. Just when I had started to feel optimistic about this new life, started to feel comfortable in it, was looking like it might fall apart again. I searched everywhere for some medicine that could cure. Healthy foods, fruits, and vegetables with supposed medicinal properties. Anything I could get my hands on. I prayed. And Nellie, you were overjoyed. You were thrilled I would go to such lengths for you. But the reality is, I was really doing it for myself. But as much as I searched, I couldn't find anything that worked, and I started to panic. I would go to bed at night, afraid I'd wake up the next morning. Nellie wouldn't. I was already grasping at straws, and I was ready to try anything that would have even the slightest chance of curing her. And then one day I heard whispers of a witch who lived by the lake. They said she was a recluse, that she hardly ever left her house, that she hadn't been down to the city in years. They told me she might have some medicinal herbs that could help, so I rushed down the lake to see her. Sitting by the shore was a small cottage, even less luxurious than where Nellie and I was living at the time. Seeing the thin trails of smoke rising from the chimney, I was convinced the rumors were true. A witch lived in that house. I wasn't sure what to expect. Being a recluse, I figured she was going to be very sociable at least. To tell you the truth, I was kind of scared to knock on her door. But I exhausted all my other options, so I clenched my teeth and gave the door 2 firm raps.
Who's there?
The sound of a voice caught me off guard. All I could do was stare at the door with a knot in my throat. Based on the information I had, I assumed I was going to find a wrinkly old woman, but that was the voice of a young girl. Even though she only said 2 words, there was something indescribably enchanting about that voice. I could listen to her talk for hours on end, in some kind of strange hypnotic trance. It was almost like magic, for lack of a better word. I stood there dumbfounded, like my soul had been sucked from my body.
Who's there?
She repeated her question, which brought me back to reality, though I still had to fight to maintain my wits enough to respond coherently. My sister has fallen very ill. She desperately needs medicine. I was told that the person who lives here is a skilled herbalist. Could I please get something to treat her?
What are her symptoms?
She got an extremely high fever that won't come down. She has no appetite. She's only drinking water and she can't get out of bed.
We're going to want to lower her fever first. After that, get her on a nutritious diet. I'm going to give you 2 medications. Give her the first while her fever's high, and the second after it calms down.
Thank you very much. Her voice wasn't bright and energetic like Nellie's. It was more restrained, somber, and quiet, yet simultaneously clear and sharp. The sound tickled my curiosity. I wanted to know what she looked like. I wanted to know what kind of girl stood on the other side of that door. And the voice that pretty, she must be equally lovely, I thought. I had to see for myself. My wish didn't fall on deaf's ears when she opened the door to hand me the herbal medicine and take my money. Her head picked out between the crack ever so slightly. I said I would tell you everything exactly as it happened, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It was unsettling. It was nothing like I had imagined from her voice. Her skin had, I guess, fallen off or something, because I could see the raw red flesh beneath. To say it was hard to look at would be an understatement. Most of her face was covered by a black hood, so all I could see was her mouth and chin, but even that much was harrowing. But the last thing I wanted to do was look away. For all I knew, that was why she had become a recluse. I couldn't let myself hurt her, so I suppressed my own disgust and put on my best smile. People often tell me I have a very pleasant,
amiable smile. So figured I could use that to prevent her from picking up on what was actually going through my mind. When she saw my face, a look of surprise seemed to cross hers. The richest herbs did indeed seem to help some. Going to visit her was better than talking to any of the local doctors. Nonetheless, Nellie hadn't been cured. She was only feeling a little bit better. So I kept paying witch visits, kept purchasing more herbs from her. Every time I went to that cottage and heard a sweet voice, I imagined how much sweeter it would sound without a door obstructing it. Even knowing what she looked like didn't stop the curiosity from growing within me. From what I gathered, talking to her, wasn't much of an age difference between us either. She was 16, I was 17. I'm sure you know how it is. When you meet someone around your age, you feel a sort of sense of kinship. That girl who originally believed he was some kind of otherworldly witch was starting to feel like a regular person like me. Through our conversations, I managed to learn her name, as well as the fact that she had come from a faraway country. We were both a long way from home. Thinking she might open up even more to someone who's been through a similar experience, I decided to try inviting her to go on a walk with me. It's not healthy to stay holed up inside all the time. Got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline? To my surprise, she accepted. Great weather, isn't it? I love the way the sun reflects off the surface of the lake. It's gorgeous. Are you okay?
I'm in disbelief, to tell you the truth.
Huh? What for?
You've seen my face. You know how hideous I am, and still you invited me on a walk. You're a very peculiar person.
Is it really that strange? I mean, we're almost the same age, so I figure we might make pretty good friends.
You want to make friends with me?
Well, sure. Do a lot of the same things, so we can understand each other better than most.
Understand each other.
Yeah, we're both young, but we've been through some rough times.
I'm going to be blunt with you. You have not been through anything like I have.
What? No?
If you had experienced the things I have, you wouldn't be smiling right now. I haven't known you for long, but I don't need to have in order to know how unequivocally dissimilar we are. That we were cut from a very different cloth.
Well, yeah, we're people. We're not made of cloth, so...
That's not what that means, you know.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so harsh. In fact, I would say you're much better off not being in my position.
It sounds like you've been through a lot. Don't mind me asking, what happened to you? I'd be happy to lend an ear. It might make you feel better to get it off your chest.
And that is what's so different about us.
Huh?
I will not tell you about myself, no. That said, I do appreciate the concern. Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. She's not very open with people, huh? I guess that's something to be expected. She has to spend much time around other people. Look at the way she does. I wonder if there's anything I can do for her. At least gotta show a little bit of emotion. Say, if it's not too much to ask, maybe we could do this again sometime?
Don't expect me to lower my prices.
I'm not trying to squeeze a better deal out of you. I just want to get to know you better. Nothing more to it. No ulterior motives. Promise.
Did you forget? I already said I won't be telling you about myself.
Alright, then it doesn't have to be about you. We can talk about anything, whatever you want. Do you have a favorite food? Any hobbies?
Nothing in particular.
Well, that was a fruitful conversation. Okay, crap.
I have no interests or tastes worth mentioning. So if you want to talk, I suppose that leaves you to be the subject.
Me?
Tell me about yourself.
My life's not that exciting. Anything I had to tell you would probably just bore you.
I'm not looking for excitement.
Oh, okay. Well, alright, then I guess I can tell you about myself. So I did. I told her all about my family situation, and I told her about Nellie. That was pretty much all I had to talk about. For the most part, she hardly even reacted to anything I said, so it's difficult to tell if she was listening or not. But she would urge me to continue whenever I go quiet for more than a few moments, so I suppose she was listening. Every time we came to purchase more medicine, we'd go on a walk around the lake together. Single loop around the shoreline. Didn't give us much time to talk, but my attempts to reduce our walking pace or stop to extend our time together were flatly ignored. And she refused to go around more than once, claiming it would disturb her daily rhythm. That said, she never refused an invitation either, so I don't think she particularly disliked me. Yet, anyway. Oh, a robin.
What does a robin have to do with your sister?
Nothing, I just saw one over there. If you listen, you can hear it singing. They migrate somewhere warmer when it gets cold. They just fly off to some place more comfortable. Have wings like a bird. Maybe it could be free too.
There is not a single creature living in this world that is free.
What?
Birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. The idea that they are free is nothing more than man's short-sighted delusion.
Sorry, I guess.
No, I should be apologizing. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathize with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or makes you uncomfortable, don't assume that it was my intention.
Sure. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know it yet. But I think you got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can't say nothing affects you at all. You are a human. So you don't have to be so closed off. I might not be able to do much for you, but I do want to get to know you better. I want to understand you. So if you feel like talking about yourself, just know that you got an pair of ears here. Okay?
If there ever were someone who could understand me, who could empathize with me, they would not be human.
What do you mean?
That you would need to be far removed from the idea of humanity to have a chance to understand me. Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words.
Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone really important to you in your life?
Not at the moment.
Does that mean you used to? I would love to hear about them. You don't mind?
They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred. And as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the compatibility for kindness.
Oh, sorry.
Well then, if your sister conditions worsens again, come see me. Farewell.
Hey, maybe we could walk a little slower next time? So I have more time to talk. I want to get to know you better.
I'll consider it.
Does it really require that much thought?
So long.
Bye. See you soon. Things continue on like that for a while. Nellie bounced back and forth between getting better and getting worse. Emotionally, I followed not far behind, getting very little in the way of peace of mind. Having to spend so much time worrying over and looking after Nellie was starting to wear me out. You know, I know good and well she had it much worse than me. I want to be done with it all. I wanted to be free. I wanted her to get better as soon as possible, so I could stop agonizing over her. So at some point, I started wishing for a miracle. I didn't care if it came from God, an angel, or something less holy. I just wanted someone to cure Nellie, take the weight off my shoulders. And during one of our walks, I let that slip. I'll take anything at this point to make her feel better. I even take a miracle if I can get one. I assume she would, as she has a tendency to say that people who believe in miracles were delusional. She was, in my mind, very much a realist, which is why her response surprised me so much.
Do you sincerely wish for a miracle?
What?
Do you truly want a miracle, no matter what form it may take?
Well, yeah, I tried everything else. God is all I can ask for help anymore. I know what you're going to say. There's no such things as miracles. If there were, Nellie would already be better. I prayed every single night for her recovery. It's all just a delusion, I know.
Miracles do exist.
What?
If you have faith, and you sincerely wish for her to be healed, you will be granted your miracle.
What are you talking about, Morgana?
You've said many times that you wish to know more about me.
Yeah, I have.
Well, I'll grant you that wish. As you listen to my story, you will come to understand why I said you will never be able to empathize with me. And as you do, hope will sprout up within you. Here is my lakeside cottage. I am known as a witch, but I did not used to be called as such.
No?
I am the daughter of God.
Most people would dismiss such a claim as madness. I almost did exactly that. But there is something strangely enchanting about her voice. I found myself slowly drawn into her tale, listening intently to her every word. The more I heard, the harder it was to believe that she was lying. For long, I was convinced she was the daughter of God, a saint whose blood has miraculous powers. Her first cry ended a long, lengthy drought in the village where she was born. Her blood cured the sick. She rode up Wensley to show me her arm. Practically every inch of her skin, from her shoulder to the tips of her fingers, was scarred from where she had been cut. According to her, the scar had once been far worse, but had improved with the application of ointment. Every single one of those scars, she said, marked the person who had sought her blood. And I believe every word. There was something about her that set her apart from the rest of us normal people, like she was some higher being. They were not her self-inflicted wounds, not the marks of someone who had tried to take her own life, but symbols of the great sacrifices she had made. She offered to give Nellie her blood, and without a moment's hesitation, I accepted.
Mell?
Hey, Nellie, I'm back. And I brought someone with me. A saint.
A saint?
Yep, she's here because medicine hasn't been working for you. She can perform miracles, so she's gonna cure you.
Miracles?
That's right, her blood has miraculous healing powers.
Blood. Fear not, my beloved sister. Hear my words and do as I say. You must have faith for the miracle to be formed correctly. I give you my blessing, that is, may bestowed unto your salvation. I give you my love, and I give you your relief. Hear my words. I hear them. This body was created not in a mortal womb. This flesh is not the flesh of man. This blood is not the blood of man. The water that flows through these holy veins flows from the river of creation. Have mercy on them, O Father. May the infirm find comfort in your warmth. May the sewage find refuge in your generosity. May my flesh bring nourishment and health unto this girl. Bestow upon her your blessing, O Father.
Morgana held a pale hand above Nellie's mouth and without hesitation sliced her own wrist. Blood slowly trickled down her middle finger from the cut, dripping into the gap between Nellie's bluish lips. I stood there entranced by the scene. It was like I was witnessing some kind of ritual. I wasn't sure, however, whether to describe it as sacred or profane. Watching the flesh blood trickle from the cut on her wrist made me break out into a sweat, feeling like I was violating a taboo. My knees rattled, and I could barely stay on my feet. Needles pricked my hands. Thoughts slipped through my fingers before they could fully form. Had I crossed the line that was meant to be crossed? Had I stepped into territory man was never supposed to enter? In time, I stopped processing Morgana's prayers as words. I heard nothing but a rhythmical sequence of sounds bouncing around my head. My line of sight grew gradually narrower. What?
Are you alright? The ceremony is complete.
How's Nellie?
She's asleep right now. But she should awoken soon.
Oh, good.
My blood has the power to cause miracles, but you must remember that the miracle is predicted on your faith.
So are you saying we need to worship you?
No, I am merely God's prodigy. Your praises and prayers should be directed at my Father, the Lord God. I should get going then.
Hey, thank you very much. Morgana has said I would never be able to understand or empathize with her. She had not been lying. Having only heard her tell of it, I still believe there was room for me to close the gap between us. We still had enough in common, but seeing it with my own eyes, feeling it with my entire being, I no longer had any illusions of us being on the same plane. As I gave her my thanks, my voice was audibly trembling.
Mell, come on. Get up, dearest Mell. Oh, Mell.
Nellie?
Uh-huh. Finally. You're awake, sleepyhead. What's with that look? Am I making a funny face?
Are you good to be up and about?
Yep. I woke up this morning feeling wonderful. Feel my forehead, Mell. See? No fever.
It's gone. She actually performed a miracle.
I only remember bits and pieces, but I remember a really pretty saint lady showing up and giving me her blood.
That's how she remembers it? Her memory is pretty hazy, huh?
Then I got this warm and fuzzy feeling inside me. Then I had this really strange dream.
What kind of dream?
There were a whole bunch of lights floating around me, and they were changing into all sorts of colors. It was the most wonderful dream.
That doesn't help me understand at all, Nellie.
It was a good dream, and that's all that matters. It must have been the saint lady's power at work.
Must be. Yeah. I'm so relieved to see you feeling better, Nellie.
Sorry for all the trouble I caused you. But now, everything can go back to normal.
Yep. All back to normal.
She wants to thank me?
Yeah. Nellie's insisting on let her meet you so she can show her gratitude. So it's all right. Would you mind coming to supper sometime?
That would probably not be wise.
Huh? Why not?
It would hardly be pleasant having to eat in the presence of a face as gorgeous as mine. And I doubt your sister will react well to the sight of it.
I don't think it would cause any problems. Nellie isn't the kind of girl to judge someone by their looks. I don't think.
Perhaps not, but to her, I'm a saint, not a normal person. In her mind, she thinks I'm beautiful, doesn't she? We must maintain that illusion. It is essential to the miracle that her faith remains unwavering, and on some level, that faith depends on her idealist image of me.
You think so?
Though our time together was brief, I could see it in her. She is a girl with great love of beauty. And perhaps the same be said for you.
I don't judge people by how they look. It's what inside it matters.
I'll take you at your word.
Thanks. So, I'm sure you don't want to come.
I really shouldn't. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, okay. Why in the world am I feeling relieved? Not only recovering was a huge weight off my shoulders. Now everything could go back to the way it was, quiet and unremarkable. I could finally go out and get a real job, forget about my old life, live like a regular old commoner. That was what I was going to do for the both of us. The problem was, Nellie hadn't actually recovered completely. She was in nearly perfect health the first few days after drinking Morgana's blood, but soon her fever came back. She stopped being able to get out of bed. To top it all off, she started having lengthy coughing fits. During some of them, she coughed with a little bit of bloody phlegm, and then had a panic attack. So I rushed down to Morgana's cottage and told her what was happening, to which she responded with a quizzical tilt of her head. Nellie's health meant everything to me. It suddenly wasn't a curiosity her head tilt seemed to make it out to be. It didn't seem to bother her at all.
A miracle took place, but it didn't persist. That doesn't make sense.
But it's true. She can't get out of bed. It's not a problem with her faith. I've been teaching her the word of God every night. And she absolutely believes in you, and her saint.
Lower your voice. I will perform another miracle for her.
You do it again?
I will not forsake those who are in need.
And it'll stick this time, right?
I cannot promise anything.
But why? Your miracles aren't supposed to be temporary, are they?
Whether they are or not is decided by you and your sister.
You're my only hope, though.
Please do not worry. If a second blessing is not enough to cure her ailment, then I will visit and give her my blood as many times as it is necessary. I will gladly give her every last drop of blood in my body. I assure you, my father does not want to see two young souls like yourselves torn apart. And neither do I. We should get going.
Alright. For the second time, Morgana had Nellie drink of her blood. For the second time, she was healthy again the next morning. And for the second time, she fell ill again shortly thereafter. Her fever returned. I went to get Morgana and she gave Nellie her blood. The cycle repeated again and again. And every time I had to watch her go through that ceremony. It was exhausting. I wasn't sure I could handle it much longer. I started thinking maybe there wasn't anything sacred about any of this. That it was all as blasphemous as it looked from the outside. I was making the girl cut her own wrist and feed my sister her blood. Nothing about that sounded right. But I had nowhere else to go. No one else to ask for help. When I was with Morgana, listening to her words of reassurance, she, without fail, wiped away all the doubts I had. It wasn't until after she left that the wave of regret hit me. I wasn't sure what was right and wrong anymore. I wasn't sure what to do anymore. Every time I went to see Morgana, it got more and more difficult to look her in the eye. I stopped asking her on walks as often. I stopped trying to have chats with her. Not so much out of a sense of guilt, but because I was getting to be afraid of her. one of those draining days. Someone knocked on the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nellie was asleep in her bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello? Who's there? I had an inkling of suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. I pulled the door inward a couple of inches and tried to take a peek through the crack. When out of nowhere, someone grabbed my shoulder and shoved me, helpless to resist, into the house. A man stood there above me. What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant.
I'm not here to rob you.
What?
You're in contact with a witch, are you not?
Huh?
The girl who lives by the lake calls herself a witch.
Witch? I don't know any witch. The only one who lives there is a saint.
A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there's a girl who lives there with miracle blood. No? Looks like I got the right person.
What? What do you want from me?
I want you to help me.
Huh?
I need you to lure the witch out into the open.
Why do you need that?
Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood.
Then go ask her for it yourself. Why should I have to help you?
She won't open the door for me. But you, I see you talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with the witch. Taking little walks around the lake.
How?
I need your help.
And what are you gonna do once you have her outside?
Have orders from the Lord to take her captive.
Oh, what? The Lord? Why would he?
That is none of your concern.
You expect me to buy that?
All I need for you is to get the witch out of that house.
Why would I?
She doesn't trust me. I could always force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong, and I can't risk that. She hears your voice. She opened the door, yes? Dearest trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong.
No, You barge in here and tell me you want to capture her? And you think I'm just gonna agree to help? Like hell I will.
Oh, don't worry. You'll get your share. You need the witch's blood too, right?
I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. She hasn't done anything wrong. So no, I won't help you capture her.
Leave you no choice then.
What? He approached the bed where Nellie slept, drawing his sword and pressing the tip against her throat. It happened so quickly without any warning, my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I were courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him, pulled him away from Nellie. But my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks.
You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch,
Get away!
or you help me capture her.
Get away from her! Right now!
You choose the witch, I'll kill the girl.
Get away!
Make your decision.
Get away from her!
You have until the count of 10. Don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. So get your sword out of her face! Don't kill her!
I thought you held on to the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. You pitiful little boy.
I feel like jumping into a lake. I couldn't make sense of how I ended up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I had been living back at my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nellie had been healthy and happy. It had been exciting, no, but I figured out that was how things would always be. That one day I would foster that noble girl. Nellie would get jealous, and we had to spend several days, or even weeks, pacifying her. Everyone would be healthy. I wouldn't be happy. I lay free of troubles. Because that was normal, and I was normal. So what was I doing living in some tiny cottage so far from home, feeding my sick sister miracle blood? What was I doing walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I was conflicted. Part of me hoped we would never arrive at the lake, and part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible so I could be done with all of this. As time plodded on, no quicker or slower than normal, and we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. She was actually quite grateful to her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nellie, even if the ceremony to do so inspired a fear in me. She didn't hesitate to cut her own wrist open for Nellie, and for me. She didn't grimace or even frown, though I knew it had to hurt. I knew damn well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to warrant being taken into custody. She might very well have been a genuine saint. But there it was, selling her out because the man with the sword threatened me. Oh, Father who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. Please, please forgive me.
Quit sniveling. You want to get suspicious?
But how? I can't. Oh, please, oh God.
Stop crying. Or would you rather I kill you here? Just close your eyes and be over before you know it. Do it. Call on the witch.
Who's there?
It's me. I'm not here about Nellie today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I heard a faint gasp through the door. Then she responded,
I want to talk to you too.
Why? Why did she have to want to talk now? She had always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies. Never wants to get emotional or sentimental. She had always given off the impression of being something greater than we mere humans. Always been so aloof, never given any indication she thought anything of me at all. So why does she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now, of all times?
Ah. Ah. Mm. Mm. Ah. Get back. No. Stay away No. Mm. Help. Don't kill me. Mm. Mm. Ah.
Take it.
What?
That's your share. Should last you long enough.
What? Why? Why did you take my arm? What do you mean by share? Oh, why? Why?
It all happened less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk. She opened the door. Then I heard a sound like the wind whipping past my ear. And next thing I knew, her cottage was covered in blood. No one did expect anything to happen how it did. When he said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. And thought he would turn brutal. That he would do something so horrific. After the man cut her arm off, Morgana tumbled to the floor, thunder about as he watched, blood trickling down the curved blade in his hand. Her screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. Her arm. Kneeling in the grass at the lake shore, I vomited and I vomited and I vomited. The things I had seen in the cabinet far too much for me to handle. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me, into the lake. What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm. A human arm. Who had to be insane to go around carrying someone's severed arm? I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I could still feel the warmth of her skin, flesh on my hands. The warmth of her blood on my fingers, dragging me back to reality. My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find a bloodbath in the college on the back of my eyelids. It left me with nothing to do but wail. I was horrified at what I'd done. I knew that I was the one who had set it all in motion. If I kept quiet, Morgana would have had her arm cut off. But I didn't want to admit it was my fault. But I didn't want to accept that I had caused it. I did nothing wrong. It's not my fault. I was... He threatened me. So it's not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed my blood-soaked clothes in the lake. As I watched the red cloud spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of the fact was slowly dissipating like the blood through the clear water. By the time I'd gotten all the blood off my clothes, the sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping, and quickly recalled that I had left Nellie alone at the house. My legs were shaking. I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me enough motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously might have thrown myself into the lake instead.
Mell? What's the matter, dearest Mell? Where have you been? Mell?
I'm so sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me?
Dearest Mell?
I never meant for this to happen. I'm so sorry. Please, I'm begging you to forgive me. I'm begging you.
Were you not able to get my medicine? Is that what you're crying about? It's not that big of a deal, Mel. I'm just fine. Honest. I'm alright.
Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrible things that caused it to happen. But whenever I lay down and sleep, I heard her screams, Morgana's animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere. I felt her severed arm, still warm in my hands. From that day on, my sleep was hardly restful. Nellie probably didn't notice anything through her feverish haze, but I'm willing to bet I looked like hell. Praying time would cause the memory to fade. I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try to have Nellie's sickness cured the way normal people did. At some point, though, all that money that had been given started running low. If I thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I hadn't exactly been frugal in my attempts to find a cure for Nellie, nor had I been especially concerned about money before she fell ill. I was so used to living like an aristocrat, and had succeeded in breaking those old habits, which left me with only one thing to do for Nellie: be with her day in and day out. Every day that passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything and Nellie died, I'd be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with nowhere to run. If I hadn't had someone there with me, I would have been able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days of me sitting by Nellie's bedside, hardly moving, there was a knock on the door. Who's there? Who is it?
Open the door. Unless you want me to kick it down.
My suspicion was correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who'd come visit. What I didn't know was why he had to come back. I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Open the door.
Leave me alone, please. I want nothing to do with anything you're doing.
Open the door.
No, I'm not letting you in for any reason.
Okay then. I'll break it down.
Don't. My sister's inside, sleeping. I don't need you waking her up.
Then open it.
What do you need? I did everything you asked me to already.
What happens to the witch's arm?
I threw it. I threw it away. You really think I was going to keep that? A person's arm?
Mel, what's going on? Do we have a visitor?
Nellie.
I should get them something to drink.
Don't worry about it, Nellie. You get some sleep, alright? Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here.
Fine by me. So that's your sister? Explains why you look so much alike.
That's none of your damn business.
You wanted miracle blood to cure your sick sister, did you not? You're telling me you threw the arm away? Are you interested in getting more blood?
What?
We're not taking the witch's blood. We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into medicine, and selling it through the church.
Selling it? You doing business in a house of worship?
No. I suppose we're technically giving it away. We're asking for tithes, so really is it the same thing? I'm not from this land, so to me it looks no different than a business. But the people here, they see us charity. The Lord said if you assist us, He'll provide you with the medicine we're making.
The Lord? Why would the Lord be...
Hell if I know. Because it seems like good money. So, will you help us?
You gonna make me get my hands dirty for you again? I can't. No, not again.
Oh, right. I've got to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time.
Huh?
You know about the miracle blood, which means we can't let you go unattended. If you say no, I have permission for the Lord to kill you on the spot.
Why?
So, will you help us? Or will you die here?
What's the right thing for me to do then? Should I have fought back and died? Should I have tried to run? Should I have taken my own life? I'm sure you had enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. I didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion. He gave me one of a set of 3 keys. I want so badly to get rid of the key, but that man's shadow constantly hanging over me. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when it could be the next one to end up losing a limb or 2. There's no way I could have disobeyed them. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I brought Morgana breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw it in her eyes the first time I stepped through the door. How could she do that to me? I never looked her in the eyes since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. And that is how I ended up here.
So he was threatened. He didn't actually want to cause Morgana harm.
That doesn't excuse what he's done, though.
See? What did I tell you? I'm not at all the brother you thought I was. Mocked me, ridiculed me, called me worthless, a coward, a terrible person. Go on. What are you waiting for?
But you were threatened, Mell. He said you would hurt me, hurt you. That's the only reason you went along with him. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mell. The other man is the bad guy, not you. You did the best you could. You didn't have a choice. That terrible man forced you to do everything.
Nellie.
You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mell.
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong. I had no other choice.
That's not true. All you're doing is closing your eyes.
What?
You mustn't coddle yourself.
Well, what am I supposed to do then?
Don't be mean to my Mell.
Did you really do the best you could? Did you even once try to do something about the situation as hopeless as it may have seemed. Could you not even conceive of any other options? Could you not have come up with something else to say at Morgana's house? Something that might have given her even the slightest clue she was in danger? But... When she opened the door, did you do anything? Did you even so much as attempt to stop him? My legs were shaking so bad, I couldn't move. There's no way I could have stopped him. Then at the very least, you shouldn't have fled. You should have stayed and told her the truth. That you weren't there willingly, and maybe she would have felt so utterly betrayed. But he was there. You think I could have actually stayed there with him? Not a chance. It's not like Morgana would have. She opened the door because she's trusted you. She isn't the easiest person to read, but she was opening up to you. And what did she do with that trust?
Stop it. Please. You've made your point. It's not all Mell's fault either. If anything, he's a victim. He was just trying to protect me.
Were you listening to anything he said, Nellie? You were not Mel's first priority. He did what he did for his own sake. Well, what do you expect me to do? Pull courage I don't have out of thin air? What's so wrong with self-preservation? There was nothing I could have done to stop him. I'd love to see you try and do any better. Then maybe you understand how scared I was, or how little I could have done. It must be nice to be an outsider, to talk about my experiences like you know everything, anything. Analyze my decisions, go on about what I should have done. You don't have a damn clue how terrifying it all was. How I felt having to go through it. Oh yeah, you're right. Wish it would have been the courageous thing to do, to sacrifice your life for someone else. But you know what? People like that only exist in stories. Except you don't actually understand that. You just want to give me crap for not being perfect. Do you want my pity? Is that all you want? If I tell you I feel bad for you, and oh how hard it must have been, would that satisfy you? Do you not want to know what you can do now? What's even left to do? Nothing I do is gonna make her situation any better. It won't make her arm come back. All is not yet lost. Open your eyes. Take a good long look at yourself, inside yourself. Think about what you can do. Stop sitting on your hands, telling yourself it's too late. There's still time to make a difference. You just have to commit to act. I don't think you're an especially bad or cowardly person. I think you're an ordinary young man. It might sound like I'm telling you to do the impossible. But soon, the time will come when you must make your choice. You must stand up and take some responsibility for what you've done. No one's childhood lasts forever. The good days are long behind you before you even realize that they've passed. When faced with the consequences of your actions, you should not have turned and run, but held yourself accountable. It is perhaps a disproportionately large burden for you to bear, but it's fast approaching. And you need to make a decision. Find your courage. Set Morgana free. Mell?
Mell?
But if I open the door for her, it's too little, too late. She'll never forgive me after...
Is her forgiveness the reason you should act? No, it's punishment of what you should have done to her. Atonement for your sins. Whether she forgives you or not is beside the point. The question on the table right now is whether you are going to do the right thing.
And what about her blood? Without Saint's blood, Nellie won't.
You don't. You don't have to worry about me, dearest Mell. My life isn't so important that I want to take someone else's away to keep it. I'll think about what I can do to help too. It's partially my fault after all. So please, Mell, set the Saints free.
Your quiet life is built on a foundation of lies. I know that by now you realize there's no real value in life like that. You wanted to do something about this. You sought salvation.
Salvation? But who would give it to me?
I already told you I would.
But why?
Because I promised you.
You expect me to believe that?
Yes. If you sit here and wallow in your regret, there's no going back. Now's the only chance to make a change. Mell.
All right. I'll help. I'll help you. Set her free.
Dearest Mell.
I knew all along. That's what I needed to do. I could never bring myself to act on it. There's no way I could accomplish anything alone. I'm basically helpless on my own. Everything about this is so completely outside anything I ever had to deal with before. So I had no way of having an idea what I was supposed to do about it. God can be pretty cruel. Why did he force a boy like me to make such a difficult choice?
Yes, he can be. We're made to be part of a more normal, a less tumultuous world. But you come too far to go back to that. So the least you can do is change the world you're in now.
Yeah. And now I need to remind you, but you know, you can't get in with only my key. You need all three, and the other two. Don't feel an ounce of remorse. Taking their keys won't be easy.
Easy or not, we have to get them. I'm sure there's a way. There must be.
Just so we're clear, you're not going to overpower them. The guy with the sword is much stronger than you, and he knows how to use the blade. And he's the Lord's bodyguard, so you're not getting near the Lord either. Even the two of us together wouldn't stand a chance against him. You seem pretty weak from the looks of you. Who knows? Maybe I am stronger than you.
God, I really do want to hit this boy.
Deep breaths, Michelle. Deep breaths.
There must be some way that we can get their keys. I know they both have people they're close to.
Huh? People they're close to?
We can talk about that later. Now that you made your decision, talking with me isn't your top priority, is it?
Mell?
Nellie, I'm sorry for involving you in all this. I'm really sorry for being, well, what I am. I'm no prince, that's for sure.
You're always wearing my prince, though, dearest Mell. You did your best to be the brother I wanted you to be.
Honestly, I adored the way you fawned over me. All that affection just felt so good.
What?
It made me feel like I was special, important. Having someone to care for, to pamper, was empowering. That's the kind of guy your brother is. If someone else, some other girl were ever to show up and call me her prince, say she loved me, I would probably try to act like a prince for her, too.
Why would you say that?
Because all this, it's been so hard on me, such a huge weight on my shoulders, that every so often I would think just how much easier it would be if I could get rid of her. If Morgana was just a regular girl, not a saint or a witch or any of that, just a pretty girl about my age, she might have been the one getting all my attention instead of you. That's who I am.
That's not you, dearest Mell. You're just beating yourself up. Maybe you would have chosen her over me. But that wouldn't make you any less of a kind man.
How can you say that? After everything I just told you.
Because, Mell, I...
Tell me how despicable I am, Nellie. I'm not the brother you once adored anymore, am I?
You're not what I thought you were. But you're still my one and only brother. That will never change, no matter what kind of person you become. It was wrong of me to try to make you into my prince, Mell. I should have done my job as your one and only sister in the worldwide world. Been there to help you as much as you helped me. I kept pushing my fairy tale fantasies upon you. And you did your best to live up to them, and I ended up forcing you to pretend to be someone you're not.
That's not true, Nellie. I enjoyed feeling idolized.
But you knew it couldn't last forever, didn't you? I should have been beside you, not looking at you. I let you coddle me. I let myself indulge in your love. I thought everything would be alright as long as you kept telling me how adorable I was. They were like magic words to me. I kept my eyes shut. Mell, starting today, I'm going to do my best to be your sister. I'm all done holding you to the fairy tale ideals. I won't make you pretend to be a prince for me anymore. And I won't try to be your princess either. I'm just going to be your little sister. So get back on your feet and stand tall, dearest Mell. I know you'll probably have to pay for what you've done when the sickness goes free. And I know I'll probably cry about it for days. But I won't regret making the decision.
Well, I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting you to handle this so maturely. You put your big brother to shame, Nellie.
Mother once told me the girls grow up faster than boys.
She was right about that. Thank you, Nellie, for accepting me, in spite of all the awful things I've done, and for having me as your brother.
You're quite welcome, dearest Mell.
Well, it looks like that's one problem solved.
To finally reach the point in a relationship where they belong. If she could have come to terms with herself sooner, come to an understanding with them, then maybe she could have reeled in her ideals before she lost control of them.
Yeah, maybe. This Nellie and the other Nellie seem to be of the same essence. They both have a somewhat excessive love for their brothers.
Yeah.
And that love expressed itself by transforming him into a prince.
If she could have done the same thing as she did here, then maybe that tragedy could have been avoided.
This is before then, though. Since they were able to fix things up in this life, maybe it'll have a positive effect on their next life. This could change the future.
The men share the same souls, but they live in completely different times. Do you really think something like this could have any effect on the lives of people hundreds of years from now?
There's no way to be certain, of course. But considering how tightly the two seem to be bound, I doubt it will have no effect. I hope it has some effect.
Giselle?
I was there in the mansion as it all happened. And I just stood by and watched. I feel so guilty about that. If I had done something, then maybe it wouldn't have turned out like that. I hate what I was then. What I was until just recently. From the memories left imprinted throughout the mansion, I showed you bits and pieces of their lives. And as I told you their tale, the only thing I contributed was disparaging commentary.
I don't feel like you were that critical of them.
I absolutely was. I talked about them like they were somehow beneath me.
Yes, you did occasionally offer an opinion of someone, or something you showed me behind the doors. But the fact that you were mostly detached from events there is what allowed me to get to the core of those characters. If you hadn't been in the position you were, so you could tell me the story the way you did, I would never have been able to talk them into helping. You contributed more than criticism. Your words weren't for nothing. They made this possible.
It makes me feel a lot better hearing that from you.
You still regret your inaction? Then make up for it by taking action here, and have faith that it will bear fruit in the next lives.
I will. I wonder if Morgana might have a change of heart too. It's not like Mell wanted to bring her so much pain. He deeply regrets what he did, so maybe she won't bear quite as much resentment for him when she learns that. Yes, I know what you're going to say. If that was enough to assuage her, she wouldn't have held on to her hatred for all those hundreds of years. Still, though, I hope it does something for her, however small.
As do I. It's gotten pretty late, so I'm gonna take Nellie back to the cottage. Okay. If you have some secret plan to get the other two keys, can you fill me in on it tomorrow? Sure. Also, I could get you another room if you wanted. This one isn't the nicest. I know, it's fine. Come to realize I'm more at home in less comfortable environments.
Michelle.
Am I just imagining it,
Or was it that as depressing as it sounded? That's not quite what I was going for. Well, anyway, you're fine with it. Suit yourself. Say, I got one huge lingering question. You wouldn't mind enlightening me?
Yes?
Why'd you go to such lengths for me? You seem to know Morgana, so I can understand why you'd be fighting for her. But for me, I had a part in putting her in that tower. You have every reason to hate me. So why would you want to help me?
If this was all it took for me to hate someone, I would curse every last man and woman in the world. I bear no animosity for you. Even if I did, you're committed to take action.
That doesn't explain why you're so concerned about us. It almost seemed like you actually cared about me and Nellie. But we're complete strangers. We just met today.
Because some part of me couldn't think of you as strangers anymore.
Huh?
That's right. When he came by this afternoon to talk, he didn't feel like a stranger to me either. It was weird. Like he'd known me my whole life. So I made him into my second brother.
Your second brother?
You're more than welcome to change the order, Nellie. Make it number 2, me number 1.
I wish I could join in and be big sister number 1.
I have to think about that. After all, that you might be number 1 material.
Whoa! Why is that even up for consideration?
I'm just kidding, dearest Mell.
Oh. I'm still kind of confused, but anyway, I'm glad someone like you showed up. I've actually been praying every night for God to send someone who can get me out of this. I really am useless all on my own. Constantly looking for someone to help me. Unable to do anything by myself. And trust me, I realize how pathetic that is. Now you must have a pretty good life to be able to so proactive in the face of adversity. I bet you had everyone's respect, help people in need, have plenty of friends who had your back. You weren't tossed out by your family like I was. You must have been incredibly blessed. I'm jealous, really. Sorry, that came out of nowhere. I know. Well, I should be going. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Michelle. Brother number 2.
Good night.
Michelle. He wasn't trying to be.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it was rather funny. I'm not taking a stand because I've been blessed. Because I got nothing left to lose. I fight for Morgana because I understand what it's like to be tortured day after day. Having experienced the loss of my siblings, I didn't want the 2 of them to go through the same thing. If anything, if those who have lost the most are the most likely to take action.
I'm not sure if you've realized it or not, Michelle, but you've gotten to be a great deal more expressive since arriving in this era. I can't see your face, but I can hear it in your voice, and I can feel it in your presence. So I'm sure it's showing there, too. making all sorts of faces I've never seen before. Some of the things you've lost, you seem to be getting back. So you can't say you've got nothing left to lose anymore. Promise me you'll let me see all these new faces for myself someday.
I will. I promise. If we manage to destroy the mansion, that should release you from this darkness. Allow us to see each other once again.
I trust you. I have faith we can do this.
Wait, with the mansion's destruction, both the souls should be returned to their rightful places, which would mean erased from existence. Giselle?
What?
I just thought I sensed you grimacing.
Wow, you felt that?
What's the matter?
Sorry, I didn't want to bring down the mood. It's just, well... And I know this is asking for the moon, but... I was just thinking it would be nice if you had a life you could go back to.
If I did?
Yeah. I mean, here you are, expressive as you've ever been, walking around outside, being around other people, talking to them after all that time in the mansion. And without a life of your own to go back to. I'm sorry. After seeing behind your door and learning how cruel and inhumane life was to you, I feel like the world could stand to do something good to make up for it.
It's done all the good it needs to. I have someone who cares enough to limit my fate. What more could I ask for?
Michelle.
Thank you, Giselle. I'm not the only one who's asking for the moon either. I wish I could have a life with you as the person I am now. And for that, knowing I have no future, feels worse now than ever before.
Alrighty, that's enough moping around for one night. We should start planning for tomorrow. Things are definitely looking up. It only took one day to get Mell on our side. So let's keep it up and win over the other two.
I would certainly like to, yes.
Where'd all that confidence go?
The other two won't be nearly as easy to convince as Mell. I'm sure we'll be able to talk to them into helping.
We do have a pretty good idea who the swordsman's in this for, though. The nun. So maybe we could get to him through her, like we did today with Nellie and Mell.
Maybe. Alright, we'll start by approaching her tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
The Lord, though, him, I'm not so sure about. I'm assuming he's from behind the third door, but we didn't run to anyone he was close with today.
Mm-hmm.
And then Morgana's telling the events of the Harvest Festival. She only mentioned 5 people.
Let's see. The Lord, the swordsman, Mell, Nellie, and the nun.
There's one person unaccounted for.
We just haven't run into them yet, that's all. If he's the man from the third door, I can't imagine... She won't... be here, too.
He's losing their confidence now. In any event, tomorrow we'll talk to the nun. I hope it goes as well as it did today.
You've got me. You don't have anything to worry about. Or, all things considered, you might not even need me.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You handled Mell pretty amazingly, though. I'm not gonna lie, my heart was pounding the whole time. I was afraid you were going to slip up and say something boneheaded. But you managed to keep it together, and I didn't have to come to the rescue.
Well,
I can make a book of quotes out of your performance today.
oh, for the Lord of God, please don't.
So I'm not concerned at all. Say whatever you think is the right thing to say. I'm more than happy to sit back and watch.
The more I pile on the expectations, the more afraid it makes me that I'm gonna trip up. Besides, I don't think I could have done any of that without you.
Why not?
Well, my life was hardly as pride-worthy as Mell would seem to think. So I didn't really feel like I had a right to talk to him like that. But no, you were there, urging me on, was what allowed me to act without hesitation. So, thank you.
No thanks necessary. But if you say so, then you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could be of assistance, if just a little.
That you were.
Now, let's keep this momentum up tomorrow. It's getting a bit late, though, so you should probably get some sleep. What is it?
I kind of don't want to sleep.
What? Why not?
For somewhat childish reasons.
Aw, are you sad you won't be able to hear my voice? Are you lonely, you poor, poor dear?
I am.
That's the last thing I expected you to admit to. Okay, well, do you want to stay up and talk for a little longer then? Not too long, though. You need to rest up for tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll show up in your dreams if you wish hard enough.
The fact that I'm even able to talk with Giselle right now is a miracle and a blessing. So is it avarice for me to yearn for more? No one already been granted such a great bounty. I want to see her face as much as she wants to see mine. She's infinitely more expressive than me. I want a good, long look at all those many expressions up close. I want more than her voice. I want her whole body. I want to feel warmth. In this era, have all 5 of my senses in full working order, as it did when I was alive. Giselle, though, she doesn't. She remains dead. As lively as she may be now, that's one thing she did not get back. I truly wish she could have been there too. She would have certainly found more joy in her renewed life than me. And she certainly belongs under the sun far more than I do. But she, rather than me, was the one left behind in that realm of darkness. A fact that frustrates me immensely. In life, I would consider her remark about seeing her in my dreams silly and saturine. But now, I very much hope it happens.